Hi, welcome to the practice questions on being able to factorise quadratics. This is part 2, the more complicated ones because we've got the coefficient in front of the x squared term here. Now what I'd like you to do now is to pause the video, have a go at these two questions, and when you're happy with your answers, then restart the video and check your answers against the model answers that I'm going to go through with you. So if you pause the video now and have a go at questions 1 and 2. Hi, welcome back. Okay, let's now go through these two questions. Question 1. Now because we've got a coefficient in front of the x squared term, we need to start off and I multiply the 2 by the 7. Multiply the first term by the last term. 2 times 7 gives us 14. I just write that over the page there. Now what we're looking for is two numbers that multiply to give 14 but add to give 9. Two combinations we could have 1 and 14, or we could have 2 and 7. 1 add 14 is going to give us 15, so it's clearly not that. But 2 add 7 is going to give us the 9. So these are the two terms that we're using here. These are the two numbers. What we now do is we split the 9x into the 2 and into the 7. So what I'm going to do is just bring some lines out here, and I'm going to split this 9x into 2x and 7x. I'm going to write the whole expression out again. So I've got 2x squared plus 2x. I'm going to put the 2x first, plus 7x plus 7. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to factorise this expression in pairs. So I'm going to put a line down the middle here, and I'm going to factorise this part, this pair, and then this pair separately. So here, what occurs in both? Well, I can see 2x in both terms. So I'll put the 2x outside the brackets there. Open up a set of brackets. 2x times what gives me 2x squared? Well, 2x times x gives me 2x squared. And then 2x times what gives me 2x? 2x times 1 gives me 2x. So I put me x plus 1 inside the brackets. Now I move on to this second pair here. What occurs in both? 7. So I write 7 outside the brackets. It's a positive 7. And now inside the brackets, 7 times what gives me 7x? Or 7 times x gives me 7x. And 7 times what gives me 7. 7 times 1 gives me 7. These should always be the same inside the brackets. If they're not, you've done something wrong. Now all I'm left to do is to write whatever's outside the brackets in one set. So I'll write 2x plus 7, and whatever's inside the brackets goes in the other set of brackets, like that. If I was to multiply these out, I'd get back to this, so I know I've done it correctly. Okay, question 2. Same thing. I multiply the 5 by the 6, but this time it's a negative 6. 5 times negative 6 gives me negative 30. I'm now looking for two numbers that multiply together to give me negative 30 and add to give positive 7. So combinations could be 1 and 30, 2 and 15, and 3 and 10. Now, because this has to be a negative here, each one of these must be a negative in each pair, because a negative times a positive will give me a negative answer. So if we have a look at the first one, could it be negative 1 add 30? Well, negative 1 add 30 will give me positive 29. So that's not correct. Could it be 1 and negative 30? Well, 1 add negative 30 will give me negative 29. That's clearly not correct either. Let's look at the second one. Could it be negative 2 add 15? Well, negative 2 add 15 gives me positive 13. That's not correct. What about positive 2 and negative 15? Well, positive 2 add a negative 15 gives me negative 13. That's not correct either. So it can't be that. Last one, could it be negative 3 add 10? or negative 3 add 10 gives me 7x. So this is the combination I'm looking for. Remember, the next thing to do is to split this centre term. So I write it out again. I've got 5x squared. Now, there's two ways I could do this. I could write negative 3 plus 10, but then the 5 and the 3 won't factorise very well together. So I'm going to write it the other way around. I'm going to put my positive 10x there, because the 10 and the 5 will factorise, and the negative 3 second, and continue writing out the rest of the expression. Now remember, I factorise in pairs. What occurs in both? 5x. Open up a set of brackets. 5x times what gives me 5x squared, or 5x times x gives me 5x squared, and 5x times what gives me 10x. 5x times 2 gives me 10x. Now I need to do the second set. What occurs in both? It's negative 3. Negative 3 times what gives me negative 3x. Well, negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. And negative 3 times positive 2 gives me my negative 6. Now all that's left to do is to write whatever's outside the brackets, the 5x minus 3, in one set, and whatever's inside the brackets, the x plus 2, in the other sets. And I'm done.